increasing amount of people who believe in the power of Feng Shui to harness the power of Qi energy or good luck in their homes. Now, especially so from people in China and Hong Kong, and it seems more likely the billionaire tycoons. So before we bring on our guests, let's find out what people know about Feng Shui.
I don't really know much. I just know if like you can't put the door here because then the light won't come in, or you can't put a flower here because it's bad luck. I don't really believe in it, but I don't know, people do. It depends on what they believe, but I don't see how putting a flower on that table will give you good luck. I don't know, I just don't believe it, yeah.
I don't really know much about Feng Shui, but if someone were to tell me that, oh no, move this table to this side, and it doesn't cause much problems for me, yeah, sure, I'll move it. You know, why not? Nobody needs bad karma. Nobody needs bad ong, I suppose.
I don't believe on Feng Shui because I think if, let's say, we need to confidence with ourselves and no need to like trust so many on those things, yeah.
So there you have it, mixed opinions from different people. And joining me in the studio this afternoon, we have Stephen Tan, Country Manager of Home Guru Syndrome Berhad, as well as Kenny Hu, Feng Shui Master of Good Feng Shui Geomantic Research. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Now, we've seen the what people say, the box. So, you know, from the response, sometimes also from the streets, you do detect a level of skepticism towards this art of geomancy. What is your view on that, Kenny?
Lisa used the word powers, right? I don't use the word geomancy. That actually makes a lot of people confused. Actually, Feng Shui to us, right, I term it as a geomantic. Actually, it's a very scientific thing, right? However, a lot of people may be having a misunderstanding. It's about Feng Shui. They thought that Feng Shui is something to do with psychological effect. You believe it, it works. If you don't believe it, it doesn't work. Actually, it's not like that. Feng Shui actually is a way of life that actually helps us to live in harmony so that it can generate, for example, when living in a house, right, with better Feng Shui, it will help us to achieve, for example, better health, better wealth accumulation, and also better relationship and so on.
Now, this is the 5th and final episode from Home Guru. Yeah. And thank you so much, homeguru.com.my, for educating our viewers on the importance of house purchase as well as house rental and all the tips and tricks that come with it. Now, you picked Feng Shui in this final episode. So what is the reason behind this?
I think for Home Guru being the Malaysian property expert, we only don't believe in just give you the right listing, the correct listing for buy and sell on property. We believe that any element or any information that actually related to property, like a Feng Shui or interior design, renovations, legal issue that we have covered in one of the issues before, and this actually comes to a complete of solutions that the Home Guru doesn't want to provide online. Right.
So are you seeing more and more developers or even house buyers out there who are more into Feng Shui, using and harnessing the luck to better the homes?
Sure, I think Kenny has been invited by a lot of developers. I think he just got back from China, so to speak, even from China's side, and developers are actually inviting him for certain projects before it even started.
Yeah,
right.
Even nowadays, a lot of hotels also, they have been using Feng Shui to further enhance in terms of their business. Yeah.
In China, you know, because it's a Chinese ancient art form. What about other places apart from the Oriental countries?
Apart from Oriental country, for example, we have been providing our services for a lot of international hotels, like Raffles Hotel and so on. Yeah, not only limited to the hotels in China or houses or home in China or Malaysia only.
So there are other people, even in Europe, I think it's
in
picking
Europe
up as well.
Even Africa, I have clients in Africa.
Right. So now the question here is, when homes and developers incorporate the art of Feng Shui into the development, do you see better flow of energy? Do you see more prosperity in that locality?
Okay, talking about the flow of energy and so on is very subjective, right?
It is.
And basically, when a house is implemented with good Feng Shui, theoretically, it will generate or promote a better Qi that can help the family members to achieve better health or at least better relationship. When everything is good, right? For example, sleep well, live well, the body is become healthier, so their thinking, the way they deal with their day-to-day life will be better. So decision making will be better also. More importantly, it will also help to promote, for example, to trigger the so-called nobleman. the good people towards us, so they can work together with us in a better harmony, better frequency, synchronization.
So you know that you have this good chi in your home if you're constantly meeting lovely, wonderful people.
Usually, a lot of people say that I don't know whether it's feng shui or not. So long the house looks nice, feel good, right? It's good feng shui. But it doesn't mean that a house, I mean, in terms of the ID, it looks good. It doesn't mean it achieved the good feng shui status. However, a house is having good feng shui implementation, right? Usually, it feel good. I mean, when we go there, we feel comfortable, feel cool, feel calm. Right, everything will be fine. And of course, when during the implementation, right, some people or some master, they may promote the use of some symbolical things. For example, the use of crystal, use of statues. In fact, to us, we do not use that. We use mainly is the flow of qi, how we attract the qi, for example, externally, then we attract it, and then come into the house, and how we can enhance it. For example, where to place the stove, where to place the bed, so that the family members will live in a better harmony.
Okay, I think a lot of us know that, when it comes to Feng Shui, it's buying symbols and placing it in the homes. And some people go to the extent of renovating extensively. So this can be quite expensive.
Oh yeah, in terms of Feng Shui implementation, that's what I mentioned a little bit just now, there are a lot of different ways. Some people, they use the symbolical things, for example, crystal, some statues. Some of the statues, some people say, they say maybe this one will be, is clashing with their religious belief. So some people will try to avoid this. However, in terms of Feng Shui implementation, there are some other ways. For example, we should or we do not need to have heavy renovation. For example, the use of the water technique, that's the highest skill, actually can substitute. For example, by using some other elements. For example, we do not need to use the crystal. We do not need to do some heavy renovations by placing, for example, the water feature, water pond at certain place, at some particular place in the house or outside the house. That will actually create the qi or create the so-called energy that we require instead of what the purpose of some master, they suggested to renovate the house, for example, to tilt the door to certain angle, right?
Yes.
The purpose is to attract the qi, right? Positive qi coming towards to the house so that can enhance or to charge the family members, right, to be more positively. The other way, this is to us is a more so-called not so proactive way. The other proactive way is using the water technique, the water feature we place at certain places to trigger the qi that we believe that is required by the family member to further enhance their so-called their lifestyle,
well-being as
their well-being.
So with water feature is also a nice thing to have because when you hear flowing water or trickling water, it's a very soothing voice. Now, coming back to you, Kenny, with a lot of developments and also agents, do you think it's important for agents to be equipped with Feng Shui knowledge?
I think a lot of potential buyers are very, generally speaking, lack of knowledge of the Feng Shui, and a lot of people have misunderstood that Feng Shui actually related to religions, which is not true. I think those professional or matured negotiator or agents, they need to have somehow equipped with every element. It could be part of Feng Shui, legality, renovation, who is the best ID in town. What about the municipal council? Are they implementing any special rules? I think Feng Shui is one of the good elements. I still remember that about 12 years ago when I bought my second house in KL, I actually purposely brought my 1-year-old baby son. And there was a saying that if you have a baby toddler and then you move into the house and the baby don't cry and you feel very comfortable and you feel joyful, that's a place you're going to move in. And that's true. We have been staying in the house for the past 11 years and we are quite enjoyable.
So you're very happy, very prosperous.
Right. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, what is the difference between a normal house and a house that incorporates out of Feng Shui? We actually have a video clip for you. So maybe you can actually describe the differences.
Yeah, can do it.
So in terms of house, right? Usually when we choose a house or we want to design a house, try not to design in a very weird or very outstanding, very different from others.
Right. This is like Gaudi's design, the one before, like in Spain.
This one is, the normal house that we used to, we want this style of house, a normal, ordinary workflow.
But some people would say it looks too ordinary, too squarish, know.
Sometimes
so
some people,
I
have some friends, they ask me, can I design a house look like Disneyland, look like this, look like that, right?
Yes.
Usually we do not recommend that.
Okay, any reason why?
We want it to be firm and steady. for example, a house look very weird. I have seen some houses, they purposely design the window slanting.
Yes.
Right. Even the door slanting, the window slanting. When we go into the house, right, we feel that our body is like slanting.
So you walk in a
in
bit.
KL,
awkward,
there's a bookstore very interesting. Have you ever, if you walk into this bookstore, right, because
Right.
the shelf is all slanting, when you walk into the bookstore, you feel that your body is slanting. So if every day having this kind of feeling is not so good.
I
So
see.
you want to go into the house, everything firm. For example, the door must be squarish or not to be rounded. For example, the bedroom should be also rectangular. Even the bed, the shape of the bed should not be round as well.
Right.
I've seen some bed is round.
Yes.
So when in terms of feng shui, actually, we do not recommend.
Right. So you like conventional. It
Conventional.
works for you. Okay. All right. Now you have something here with us. Explain this item.
This is actually the compass lopan. Right. Actually, a lot of people say that this is. Can I just hang it on my door so that it can kick away all the negative chi?
Right.
This is not any so-called the talisman. It's just a compass. It's just like a computer.
Right.
It has a pool of data. All the database is here. So
Right.
when we match, for example, we do the compass, there's a needle here. We understand the direction, right? We do the measurement on site. Then we understand, for example, what is the direction. Then it's very important to match, for example, the direction with the external chi, and also internally how we arrange the bed, the stove, and also, for example, the doors, right? So that it can match according to the family members' birth details. It's very important because when anyone was born, their body or our body has been charged by the then current combination of 5 forces. For example, someone was born in the summertime, so his body naturally will consist of more fire element because summertime is hotter.
Sure.
Right. Someone that was born within the winter timing, their body will have more water element. So feng shui is an art of balancing. How to balance. Cannot be too much. Eat also
Right.
cannot eat too much. Happy also cannot be too happy. So for example, elements also cannot be too extreme. Must be balanced, harmony. So when we analyze, for example, the family members, all of the family members, for example, their elements in their based on their date and time of birth, then we should understand. Okay, for example, this house facing this direction, they should receive what kind of chi. Whether the chi should have more water element or whatever. So, and we use this one to do measurement, we do the calculation and so on. This is the compass, the Chinese compass.
Compass to help you out. Okay, we have some visuals as well of interior homes, the inside of the property. So, can you explain, Kenny, on what can
This is
help
a very
here?
good house design, just a living hall. And then the stove actually is very important. Stove actually it represents the health and also the wealth for the family member. The location of the stove, for example, most masters will say it cannot be located at the northwest and also the southwest sector. These are the common so-called golden rules.
Right.
Some of the golden rules that we have to follow. For example, the northwest, right? For example, this thing can be applied or implemented by the developer. Try to avoid designing or put the kitchen in the northwest sector or the southwest sector, because this will affect the male of the family and also the female of the family. Right. These are some
So
of the rules.
do you have more cost-effective measures on countering those?
Of course, there will be some other ways as well. For example, if the kitchen is already there, for example, some of the condominium, right? We cannot just hack here, hack there, otherwise the whole building collapse, right?
Yes.
So there will be some other remedies to counter it. Yeah,
So there are remedies available.
They are, of course, they are. Then have to consult an experienced Feng Shui master to remedy it.
Remedy. Now you were talking about birth dates and how important they are. Now, so in a family, if you consist of 4 or 5 people, how do you ensure that everybody comes into harmony?
Yes, this is the most challenging part in terms of the Feng Shui implementation by the Feng Shui master. It's very important to have, the Feng Shui master must be very skillful in the so-called calculation in terms of their parts, the birth chart. Basing on their birth chart, their birth detail, must based on all the family members, cannot just based on the breadwinner. Some people say based on the breadwinner. Today the breadwinner can be the husband, next week or next month can be the wife,
Yes.
and then maybe a few years later it can be the eldest son or the eldest daughter. Who shall we follow? So basically we need to follow all to achieve a balance. Of all the family members.
All right, if I throw in another criteria here, what about if some family members believe in Feng Shui and some say,
Okay.
no, it doesn't work for me, I'm not into this.
So the most importantly, Feng Shui is not symbolical things. It doesn't mean that you believe it, then it works. I don't believe it won't work. But it's no harm believing it, so long we do not encourage the use of some of the symbolic things or statue that may be having some kind of clashes with some family members' religious belief or their cultural belief, right? Basically, Feng Shui implementation, we do not need to have all these things. For example, the use of crystal, use of the statues, actually we do not need. However, there's just an option only, actually.
Right. Okay, so I suppose that, if you want more information, then you always have to engage a Feng Shui master just to get it right. Now, before we end this, Stephen, how does Feng Shui come into play when it comes to pricing a property?
Well, I think a lot of the potential buyers, surprisingly, when some of the questions that we receive from the Ask Guru section of Home Guru, remember that at the last few episodes we keep stressing the importance of Ask Guru section, that a lot of potential buyer asking questions in that column. Some even have asked which side is facing. Am I facing this hill, or is there any developments in phasing in next to my condominium blocks kind of thing? So I think some of the potential buyers, they are really aware of this, and neither us want to have another big blocks of view, our nice view, KLCC for example, that blocked by another 30 or 50 stories kind of building in front of us. It's very common sense, actually. I think Kenny should agree with that.
Right.
Yes.
So do you think it will fetch better and higher prices as well?
Yes, definitely, yes.
Okay.
For example, some houses facing the waterfront will fetch a better price.
Yes, and it makes sense because it is a beautiful view, and you feel more relaxed when you come home, and your home should be your paradise.
Correct.
Thank you so much to both of you for coming by, and if you need more information, do surf this website www.homeguru.com.my for all property details. Thank you once again, and we're going to be taking a short break, so don't go anywhere. Fashion updates from watches to enhance your personality.